Okay, welcome everyone. I hope you have a great weekend so far. Welcome to another live stream on Sunday, which is of course an altcoin related live stream. Let's see what you guys have voted. But if you've never been here before, on the Sunday we always do altcoin live streams or stocks or whatever you guys vote for. I don't really care, I just analyze it. But generally, most of the stuff that I cover and most of the stuff that people vote for are the alts. So let's see what opportunities are out there. In the beginning of the live stream, I always analyze Bitcoin while you guys vote, the last votes coming in. And then after, we're going to tick off one by one, usually quite quickly, all the different alts on a higher time frame. So that's what's gonna happen. I will be online till 2 p.m, which is 1.5 hours. And the reason I'm live for 1.5 hours is because in the afternoon, my wife and I are gonna be out and about. So we are going to Cap d'El. It's a place next to Monaco. We wanna check it out and have a look what's out there. So we're gonna be gone for the rest of the day. So that is the reason also why the altcoin stream is right now. So yo, good to have you here, everyone. Happy Sunday, happy weekend. Let me know what you've done in this weekend so far. If you had something interesting going on. I actually this morning finally uploaded some videos and photos of my trip to Barcelona on my Instagram story. So if you haven't seen it yet, the link is in the description. Don't try to look for koenztrading on any social media platform because of the amount of scammers there. Just go through the official links, which means the description, and you will see I don't know, 10, 20 stories of stuff that I experienced last week when I was in Barcelona, and also when I came back. And for the ones that were here during the live stream on Friday, you may remember that there was a very, very young viewer in the chat, which is my niece. So my wife was video calling with my 3-year-old niece, or actually with her sister, of course, and she was watching the live stream. So I did I spoke to my niece through just like the live stream, and you can see a picture of her glued to the screen on my Instagram story as well, in case you're curious. So you actually know what happened on Friday behind the screens. So yeah, welcome everyone. Mark, welcome as well. With regards to what Mark and Odin said in general chat in Discord, yeah. So the coin list is of course based. It's simply based on what people mentioned in the just in order of how it came in, right? And as time passes, we add stuff to the list. So I never put it in alphabetical order or whatever, but I will use ChatGPT to put it in alphabetical order next time. So and make sure everything is capital, because some is and some isn't. But that's something for next time. I mean, for now, just use a Control F to find your stuff. Right? That's the best. So I see, by the way, hamster. What is going? What's this? But at least I can I can add it to the list. But just know that you got to vote, and then we always at least mostly go through the highest voted ones. I know it's not capital, but you know, whatever. So save changes. So make sure to vote if you haven't. Alfonso, welcome. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. Pupsy, welcome, man. Nice to see you during a live stream again. From the comment section back to the live stream. Welcome, man, and always a pleasure. It's great to have you here. Great to have you here. I hope everyone actually, with the move to the upside that we had over the past 2 weeks, made some nice gains and some nice profits. I mean, look, if like this was such a great opportunity with all the CVDs included as well. And from an Elliott wave point of view, continuously higher probabilities to take the highs. I mean, very, very nice bit of trading. And now we finally took 65. So all the CVDs actually played out. Also very nice. So, Saragot Moho, admin, welcome. Nick Otter G, how you doing, man? From the Otter Gang, Net Warrior, Florian, MDS, good to have you here. Yo, Damo, I edited. Armand, welcome. Studying some immunology. Yeah, welcome, Armand. And are you a medical student? Because I used to be a medical student. In the Netherlands, it's a 6-year study, 3 years theory. Whoa, 3 years theory, and then 3 years of internships in the hospital. And I was in my 4th year. In my 4th year, I then decided to follow other opportunities that I got because of my career at the time. But yeah, I studied medicine in the Netherlands. I'm actually curious what type of study you do. Tia, make sure to vote. If it's not in the list, then let me know. Popsy, welcome. No one's voting for expecting. Can you show on mana just for me? Let's first check the votes, and at the end of the live stream, we might have a look at some other stuff coming in. Usually also because people vote for the same stuff, not much changes. Dara, Jiswal, Sam, Bella, welcome. Siu Siu, good to have you here. 80, I don't get to the lives often, so this is a pleasure. Welcome on the Sunday. Thanks everyone for popping in on your valuable Sunday. Make sure to also spend some time with family, friends, touch the grass outside or whatever you're doing. Yeah, welcome Adi, thanks for being here as well. Cosmin, what's up? Rocky, what should we look for in order to add to our portfolios? What do you mean? Are you talking about like adding altcoins or something, or like stuff to your spot, or are you talking about compounding a existing position, or what do you mean exactly? Popcat seems like it will be a market leader. Popcat. Interesting. Never heard of it. Now, I personally, of course, as many know, am very much trading Bitcoin. That is my main thing. And some of the alts that people mention, I'm like, wow, how did you ever find that stuff? Crypto, W Mall, welcome. I'm in med school in my 3rd year. It's a 5-year program here. Okay, I see. So does that mean like your final 2 years is internship, like in the hospital? From medicine, specializing in respiratory and COPD. Nice. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. The lungs, no? Very, very interesting. I got a friend of mine has a wife, and his wife works on or used to work on the like the English lung department, like respiratory department and COPD and tubing and all of that stuff. Yo, Overset Tim, how you doing, man? How you doing? I recently actually tagged you in Discord because someone was talking about low time frame Elliott wave analysis. How you been? What have you been up to? Super to the list. I don't know how. So this is, there's no way, of course, this is going to get the highest votes, but at least we can add it to the list, I suppose. But yeah, how you doing? Roberto, greetings from Portugal. Nice to have you here, Roberto. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's start. While you guys vote, focus shortly on Bitcoin, and then we go to the alts. Now, Bitcoin will be short and sweet, right? Respect to the Koens. Love the Otter Gang. Yo, Nick, man. Yo, Otter Gang. And of course, now there's an Otter baby as well, because of the little one coming in. So, yo, cheers to the Otter Gang, man. Thanks for the dono, Nick. Appreciate it, man. That's really cool. Appreciate it. And yeah, and here it's like raccoon is like the emote most people use. So you guys have the otters, and here it's the raccoon. 3 years theory, 2 years clinical as part of your degree. Then you have to do 1 year of house job, which I call internship in other parts. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see. From South Africa as well? Yo, really? Okay, I'll be in South Africa in a couple of weeks. Okay, now with regards to Elliott waves, this is local stuff, I remember. I'll do a short summary, and then we go and start talking about the alts, because that's what you guys are here for. But make sure to continue voting in the meantime, right? Just a quick update. Bitcoin bullish scenario, diagonal here, finished 3-wave structure, ABC, looking for a 5-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in one. Now, in this particular scenario, you definitely need weakness here. That's what you're looking for. At the moment, we're just ranging sideways, but we need a deeper way forward than just what we have here, of course. And then eventually a 5. Now, a diagonal really only starts to get greater probabilities if you actually get a way 4, right? So once you start working on a 4, that is when you start to slowly give probabilities to a diagonal. Now, after a wave 1, we then want a 2 and then a 3 up. If price moves up and hits 68.5k, the probabilities for this scenario decrease. It's not an invalidation, but it does impact probabilities negatively. So that is something you got to keep in mind. And then the bearish scenario here, which is a WXY. Now, it's a alternation for, compared to a WXYXZ, which is has a similar final structure, which then is a flat over here. It's just that a WXY is more common than a WXYXZ, so I just relabeled it. So now we have an ABC, a W short X, and then a flat in wave Y. And in this case, your wave B most common target is actually a bit higher. This over here is a regular flat target, which is an uncommon target, uncommon flat. You can see we actually closed a few candles above the 105. So preferably in this scenario, you actually do move a little bit higher before then a wave C down to take the low of A. Right, so this is your bearish scenario, but still bullish, as after Y you still look for price to move to the upside. This would of course be a final shakeout, so to speak. But yeah, these are the two at the moment I keep an eye on. I don't really like to show too many of the other daily scenarios that I do have, because quite simply with the diagonal touch 68.5 and probabilities for bulls are going to change to more impulsive scenarios, like a multi 1-2, for example, that I have over here, or a double 1-2. I have no idea where it is in my folders. This one here, right? If you do hit 68.5, and for the bears, I mean, it's the bears. It's tricky for the bears at the moment. But that WXY is one to at least keep in mind. But preferably you still move up a little bit further first. So and on the 4-hour time frame, right? Move to the upside. Nice. Currently in the wave C target area for a finish structure. Now in that case, preferably your C is finished and you get a bit of a bigger retracement down. Now this is what you want in the diagonal, right? So you have your 1, 2, you want your 3 to finish and then move down in 4. So after a zigzag, you look for a deeper retracement, which means you got to count impulsive structures on the lower time frames, and there is a possibility to do it. But we got to remain a bit more patient, because weekend price action never really gives the best clues. So ABC, preferably now looking at the size of this range here, you're starting to look for a finished 5 in C. More impulsively would be to have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 4, and another 5. So the price action is quite similar. That's what I explained on Friday between a zigzag and an impulse, because in a zigzag, you look for a bit of a deeper retracement, right, to lower prices compared to an impulse. But even in an impulse, you preferably range sideways and get a bit of a retracement after the resistance that we hit, right? So that is what we are looking for. And if you want to know the target for your wave 4, take a fib from the low over here to the current high on the chart, toggle on the fibs, and then your 236 would be a minimum at 64.4. So, and then all the way down to 62, basically. Very nice. Yes. So yeah, and then on the 1 hour 15-minute time frame, I guess. Let's 15-minute. So yesterday I was updating silver a little bit. Of course, it's very sideways, but there were simply two things I'm looking for, and it's still the same. Either you have your leading diagonal in a wave 1 or a wave A. Now this leading diagonal finishes here or finishes here. It doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it finishes here, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finishes here. Doesn't matter. It's still A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. right? What you are looking for. Price did retrace close to the 05. It also hit the 05 actually. So targets for a B or 2 at least are hit. Of course, you can continue ranging, dude. It's weekend. And then a more bullish scenario would be some WXY sideways structure. So you then have a W, complex X, and then you look for Y. Needs a bit more information. It doesn't make any sense to count this stuff, for example, in a lot of detail. It's just very, very messy price action. Like arguably there's a flat going on here as a first structure, and then possibly a second structure, third structure, and then your X is here. Maybe. But a WXY, there's still the potential for a double zigzag, WX, and then Y, and then continue back up, right? You can continue your X. If your X goes up, probabilities increase for a sideways double combo, meaning you could have a flat in a Y. So it's still it's just a sideways range. Locally, it doesn't really like gives like a lot of opportunities from an Elliott wave point of view. Just got to wait a little bit. So yeah, that's what's going on. But on a weekly time frame, probability is higher for the bulls, and on a daily time frame, both scenarios shared are also bullish actually, even if you do move below 52. But yeah, so that's currently what's going on. And on a 4-hour time frame, we were looking for price to start ranging, right? Either finish C and move bigger move down next week in that case, or look for a 3 and then a 4. So in both cases, we were waiting for that range. It's weekend, generally a ranging environment. So and there we go. We hit resistance. We start ranging. So quite nice indeed. And now it's just a bit of a patience game, but it would be nice, honestly, from an Elliott wave point of view, to move down a little bit further. So of course, after a C, you want to see a deep move down, and in an impulsive structure, your minimum target, as mentioned, is that 0.236 at 64.4. And even if we count 1 2s, 1 2, 1 2, 1 2. In that case, you take from the low to the high here, and then your minimum target would be 65. So it would actually still be nice to still look for a bit more downside to come locally. So yeah, with regards to levels, we have a daily at 63.1, but other than that, we hit resistance, of course, but I removed the levels from my chart here. Monthly naked point of control, daily naked point of control. This is all the untouched levels. So as you can see, the one above, the one below, quite far from where price is at the moment. So yeah, and that's that. So let's now talk about the alts then, shall we? So cool. Because I don't want to stick around too long. This is an alt stream, of course. We'll be back soon. Nice to have a bit of a break over September. Deserved. What's up, Andre? How are you doing? Make sure to vote if it's in the list. If not, let me know. Yo, Alfonso, good luck, man. Good luck. Alfonso, by the way, works as an EMT, I believe it's in English, no? Like works inside the ambulance. Goes to places. ABCD. Oh yeah, locally here, I don't want to analyze this stuff. I'm not looking for triangles, like unless wave Ds are in. So yeah, you would need to count this as A, B, C, and then still need a D and an E, and I'm not looking for triangles here at the moment, not yet at least. So okay, let's check the results, see what's up. Yep. So how are we doing? Wow, 361 votes. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So we're gonna go through this quite quick because Sol was last week. I think AVAX XRP. We have these SUI as well. I think we did FET recently, no? ADA, Link, Bonk. I think that's quite a new one. SEI, Rune. Okay. Anyway, let's get this started. Now, when I analyze alts, it is quite difficult for me to really keep up to date with what's happening in chat, but I'll try my best, of course, answering questions and whatnot. Yeah, usually this will go quite quickly. Because many of these are asked every week. Yo, Pepsi, man. That's you say hi for the second time. Or oh wait, maybe now it's live. Earlier you were. I wasn't live just yet, I think. Okay, so I need to get my notes out, my notebook here, and yeah. Okay, there we go. So we did Bitcoin, of course. And now we are gonna do Sol. And what's the timestamp? The timestamp is 26. So on Solana, this will go very quick because nothing changed compared to last week. So on Solana, highest probability is an impulse to the upside. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, looking for 4, 5, and another 4, 5. This is relatively conservative, where you then have over here internally a finish 3, 4, 5, wave 4 hit the 2, 3, 6, minimum target for 4. Your target area for 5 here in white, 247, 317, common target, and then still a target just probability wise would be lower, 315, 623. It's also a very big area, of course. Now, what's interesting about the white target area is that you could swing the all-time high, and instead of breaking out and looking for immediate continuation, you actually swing it and then move down. So the people that buy in the all-time high are going to get wrecked because they're like, oh shit, you know, we actually go down. And then only at a later stage, once all of those people are wrecked and they're out of their positions, then price moves up. So something to keep in mind. Observe the price action if you do take out that high. But yeah, this is your bullish scenario. Here you can see that the target area for wave 4 has more than enough space with regards to potential retracements into this area to the downside. We still have a point of control at 100 as an interesting area of support. Yeah, this is very hypothetical, getting the 4 and the 5, and the target area for 5 is 337,939, like 1K. It's just very, very, very far away, right? Very hypothetical. So you first got to wait for this to finish here. Now, an alternative impulsive structure would be to have your blue 3, blue 4, and then blue 5, right? Which is not as bullish because here you only have one push up for your 5, and then you count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Now, the reason why the probabilities for that are lower at the moment is if you take a fib from the low to the high, price has not touched actually the 236 I have on my chart, which is a minimum target, right? Oops. So for the blue count, if this would be a blue 4, you actually want more downside. And then it opens up the possibility of having a blue 4. But at the moment, this is your higher probability count. Lower probability is an ABC. The reason it's lower probabilities is because of the extension in your wave C. If you take a trend-based fib from the start to the end of A to the end of B, you can see that your wave C moved way beyond the 1.618 at 93. We moved all the way to 210. Now, the common target area, most common, is 1 to the 1.236. The 1.618 still pretty common, especially in crypto with regards to wave Cs. But if you move past a 1.618 extension taken from the start to the end over here, right? You really start to think about wave 3s. From a probability perspective, probabilities are higher. This is a 3 compared to a C. Therefore, probability is higher for an impulse, and still looking for at least one more high as a minimum. Move up, range, move up, range. We still expect at least one more move up, if not 2 more moves up in this particular scenario. So that is Solana for you. And that is, of course, unrelated to then local price structures. But here we're looking then for wave 4s. AVAX. We go up. Hey, Matic is red. What's up with the Matic chart? I have no idea why it's not working here. Okay. AVAX. So we are now 30. Okay, so on AVAX. Yeah, I'm writing down the times. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm doing that on my sheet. Matic was renamed to Pol. Matic is now Polygon. Okay, interesting. I actually didn't know. I only need mana, but no one else was. Yeah, I know you asked earlier, but we'll first go through the higher votes, and then at the end could have a look. Why did it have a name change? Did it suck, and then they decided to like change the name just to confuse people because the Matic brand was going down? Or Nick, thanks, man. Shokun some love. It's a Sunday live stream. What else brings the alpha content for you on a Sunday? Cheers, Nick, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, with regards to AVAX, let me have a quick look here. Yeah, let me remove the weekly. I mean, we touched it. Point of control touched. We can remove this as well. I mean, look, you guys know I really enjoy volume. I always talk about point of controls and stuff in my content. But it's beautiful, isn't it? You have the point of control of the all-time high range here at 66. Moving to the point of control of the range down here at 17 to get another bounce. I mean, man, I gotta love volume. Very, very nicely respected. And on the chart, this is an important support resistance area, right? I mean, a sign of strength would be to at least move above the support resistance area here with a high of 33, 34 to get back into the upper side of this range. Now, currently on AVAX, highest probability is an impulse to the upside here, 1A, 2B, 3C. This is your target area, most commonly for a 2 or a B, touched, including the point of control. We still have a value area low at the 786 in case price does comes down. We are actually just below the 786 here, 12. Would be quite, that's another 50% down though. So Bitcoin would need to do something pretty nutty if you want AVAX to go down that far. But yeah, your higher probability would be an impulse, 1A, 2B, 3C. Now the reason also, it's actually more interesting to focus on this part instead of analyzing could there be a flat here and an ABC, because if this is corrective, the probabilities are higher to take the high. Now the reason why the probabilities are higher that this is a corrective structure down, right? And you don't even really need to know like what type of corrective structure. It's just corrective structure, right? That's what's going to impact probabilities on the higher time frame. Now, to answer a question, if you think like, okay, would this be an impulse or corrective? The only thing you have to do is try and figure out, can we count a 5-wave impulsive move down? Can we count a diagonal down? Or a multi-1-2? Right? And if you cannot count any of these three structures with a good amount of probabilities, you are looking at some corrective structure, right? High probability. And therefore, the probabilities are higher to take the high. So if we look at an impulse to the downside, right? Well, we got our first structures. High volume move is in the low. So in an impulse, most commonly, the highest amount of volume is in a wave 3. So we want to label this a wave 3. Now, if that's the case, then we need a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We then need a 4, 5, 4, 5, basically, right? Now, you can see that if we count this as an impulse like this, the proportions are a little bit off. If we take a fib time, let's take it from here to here to here. 1 second here, putting it on the chart. Then this range is over 6 times longer than this range. So if you would count this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 4, 5, then this first 4 compared to this 2 is over 6 times longer. It lowers the probabilities for that to be true. Right? Second, if you take a fib from the high to the low here, price touched the 618. And the 618 invalidates a wave 4. So the probabilities are not great that this is a wave 4. And therefore probabilities are higher that this here is corrective, with the low being some sort of a wave C in a whatever structure. W, X, Y, X, Z. W, X, Y, X, Z, right? So a zigzag combination instead of an impulsive move down, right? Yes, you do have volume peaks, but those volume peaks are then labeled wave C's in a W zigzag, right? And then you have your X, and then you have another zigzag down, possibly, of course, another X, and then a Y, W, X, Y, X, Z. Another Z. So that is why this structure down impacts probabilities for this to be corrective, and therefore looking still for the highs, which automatically increases probabilities for what we're looking here, 1A, 2B, 3C. Even if you come down once more, the probabilities are still higher to take out that high. So you're looking for a double zigzag in that case, a WXY, or a triple XZ. Now, triple zigzags are rare, but have to be considered the moment a potential double zigzag is in, right? So, yeah, but we hit nice support, hit the target area for 2B, and yeah, that's that basically. Let me have just a quick look here, see if we can, okay. Okay. Pom, pom. That is your bearish scenario. Is a flat. It's interesting. I didn't have it like either ABC like this, or your wave A is there, but W. Just quickly messing around here. Oops, that's quite simply, this is your bearish scenario. Wave C to the upside in an expanding flat ABC. Here we then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can label this WXY. Doesn't matter, you still look for more downside anyway. But then this move up is labeled as a wave C instead of an impulse to the upside. But if that is true and that's the end of a wave C, and you now look for the lows again, you want to see like impulsive structures down and not corrective structures down. And that is why it's interesting to look at local price action, as the probabilities here are higher that this is corrective. 1-to-1, we hit the 1-to-1. Just doing a few measurements. If this is 1 and if this is 3 and then this is okay, so there's the potential. Of course, the moment you have a zigzag, got to be aware of why does it look expanding, but it's not. No, it didn't. No, eyes are deceiving. Not expanding, but 1, 2, 3, 4, wait a minute, and then you have this. Did we hit the 1-to-1? Barely missed out. So that would be an invalidation if you would hit it. So therefore, your bearish scenario would be zigzag correction, zigzag correction, zigzag, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal. However, no. Okay, so that is why it looks so awkward. Yeah, okay. No, a diagonal doesn't work because wave 4 cannot be longer than wave 2 in a contracting diagonal. It then has to be an expanding diagonal, but in an expanding diagonal, 3 has to be longer than 1 and 5 has to be longer than 3, which is not true. So we can't count a diagonal here. An impulse, lower probability, multi 1-2, lower probability. So higher probability, this is corrective. Okay, yeah, so conclusion is the same. So there we go. There we go. Up again. Okay. XRP XRP, yo. XRP. XRP with the volatility, no? Not bad. And then wreck everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a flat structure by the looks of it. Oh, there we go. Okay, deep retracement. This is the daily time frame, but there's definitely potential here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, right? Flat structure, immediately retrace. So after a wave is C, you want to start a new impulse, of course, preferably. So there's the possibility here for a 1, 2, no? 1, 2, 1, 2. And then, yeah, of course, impulsive continuation, double 1, 2. Hit the 886, of course. Yeah. So probabilities are low that this is an impulse down for a 1 to the other side. So interesting. But okay, let's zoom out first. Confluences. Okay, the point of control was here as well. Value area low or high has been touched. Still ranging in the upper half. Oh, nice. Resistance 109, 128. Bull, triangle, triangle, bear. Okay, let's go to the monthly shortly. Thank you, Mark. Actually, Discord, like, first of all, it's not a paywall. Second, Discord is actually really fun. When I wake up in the morning, like, even though my name is red, and when my name in Discord is red, it basically means that I'm doing other stuff, right? But I do keep an eye on what's happening in Discord. When I wake up in the morning, one of the things I like to do in the morning is to have a look at Discord and just scroll through the discussions and have a read and see what people came up with and how the counting discussion. I really enjoy it. It's almost like reading a book in the morning. So I check it every morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's quite a long wave 4 compared to your 2. So this is a conservative count. Your more bullish count is that you actually have a finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is your 2. The problem is that inside a wave 2, you can not have triangles. So we are not allowed to count as a triangle if you look for this to be a wave 2. So finish 1, 2, 3. And if we take a fib from the low to the high, then yeah, we did hit the 382, which is a minimum target for a wave 2. So of course your most bullish scenario is continuation, and you still have to start a wave 3, right? Now in that case, your like XRP is going to be very high. But conservative in the beginning is always best instead of looking for the most bullish outcome. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just look for all-time high. At the moment, it like we're not yet too close to all-time high. It doesn't make too much sense to really look for your targets. But just to get an idea, 7, 3, 4. 552. Okay, that's lower. That's just above all-time high, 308. And then we have 9 and 30, but that's both. Okay, so yeah, it's between like it's a big area. That's also the problem. You gotta wait a bit more patient to see what this actually is in hindsight. It's just that probabilities are still higher to continue to the upside and look for all-time high. But yeah, target area 10 to 30. But let's talk about scenarios. So first of all, this is your most bullish scenario. Now this is a triangle, which basically means this cannot be a wave 2. So here you gotta label this as a wave 4, A, B, C, D, E. And then you want to see price move to the upside. Your invalidation is very easy, which is the low at 0.287, right? So very easy from a risk management point of view. This is a variation of a triangle. It does have lower probabilities at the moment, and that's simply because your wave Y never touched the 0.618 here. So in that case, you have a W, which is a zigzag structure, X, zigzag family structure, and then you look for A, B, C, D, E. Where actually now, like preferably your C is finished, so therefore your invalidation would actually be 0.38 now. But you don't want D to move above 0.94, and then your E to the downside should not go below 0.38. But of course your wave A did not touch the 618, which generally is a minimum target for a Y. Now, a wave Y being a triangle is a sideways corrective structure, not necessarily a deep structure. So there's something to say, and that's why I have it in my folders. But if you do reject here and you go down again, then this is the scenario that I'll keep in mind. So basically, we have triangles in both of these counts, and your, let's see, weekly. Yeah, it's very, very three-wavy corrective. It's all very, very corrective structures, right? Like three-wave, three-wave, three-wave. But because of the three waves down, it increases probability still to look for higher on XRP on the higher time frames. What's the bearish count that I have here? Okay, so that would be a zigzag A, triangle B, and then C. And in this case, the invalidation is 0.94. So if you pass 0.94, it becomes very tricky for bears. It's already a bit of a mess scenario. Well, this is A, B, C, but I can still do this as well. W, X, and then Y. The difference is in the wave A, you got to count this as a 5 wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that case, you would then have a diagonal in an A, and then you expect C, and then like a V-shaped type of recovery. And in a W, you got to count this as a zigzag, and then you have your X, and then you get your Y. And then your Y has to either be a flat, A, B, C, or a triangle. But if wave X is a triangle, then wave Y, a triangle in Y is already lower probabilities compared to any other structure in Y, like a flat zigzag, and a triangle X, and then a triangle Y. It's not gonna have priority in your probabilities list. But yeah, on XRP, we're looking for upside still on the long term. Looks pretty good. Very locally here on a daily, of course, like impulse, flat, impulse, zigzag. It definitely has a more impulsive narrative, bullish narrative. Hit the 886s here as well, so it would actually be nice to take out that high. What's the resistance to the upside? Point of control 0.82. We already tested it once. So if you do get down to up to 0.82, could we get a reaction? Yeah, but I don't expect it to hold. So that you may get a reaction, get a bit of a range below, and then you go up till like 111, 121, 126. But yeah. That's the high time frame probabilities on XRP. Quick refresh here, see if anything changed. Okay. XRP as ABC only, not the 4 and not the 2. As an ABC from the low, that would be incredibly bearish unless you look for a mega like diagonal, but it's too early, of course, to really look into diagonals. Okay, SUI doing or SUI doing SUI things. Nice to see. So we also just blasted through the resistance like it's nothing, which of course is a positive sign. I actually don't know what the green line is here. I forgot about it. Okay. Daily. Can I get a higher one? Yes, I can. Like basically, I mean, this is like your final like final level, and you're at all-time high basically. But just checking what's up here, right? Why do we have a little bit of a halt? But yeah, that's why. So value area high. Okay, nice. Anyway, weekly. Yeah, what to say, you know, I mean, this was one of the best ones. Hit support, wicked into the weekly, closing around, or the daily, closing around the weekly, touching also the 786, your lowest target for a 2. Nice impulse, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Corrective structure down, 1 2. And up, volume highest, looking for a wave 3 at the moment here. Now, if you look at the volume, 1 2 3, eventually a 4 5. Potential, of course, for a double 1 2, but yeah, I mean, that's up to like patience. Like 1 2, and then if it is this 1 2, and then you look for 3 4 5, and then that's another lower degree, 1 2, and then you go, right? Or are we just already running into 3? It's just that the bullish scenario has the highest probability. It had the highest probability, still has the highest probability. Yeah, we're still looking for higher. So there's not too much to analyze on SUI, to be honest. Because yeah, we've been analyzing SUI for quite a while. And the probabilities every time we analyzed this were higher for price to move to the upside. And now, I mean, yeah, now here we are. So, you know, we analyzed it when it was down here, and now we analyze it where it's now. Yeah, nothing really changed. On a daily time frame, we would then count this as a 1 2 3 in a bullish scenario. This is going to be labeled ABC in a bearish scenario. But then what you're going to be looking for is just an extension of the range before going up at a later stage. Let's see, fib. Almost touched the 886. If you touch the, wait, did we do on linear? No. So if we touch the 886 actually at 182, yeah, then the probabilities increase to take all-time high. Mindful that after an 886 touch, it is quite common for price to move to the golden pocket. But yeah, 182 is important. We almost reached it, but we didn't touch it just yet. So bullish. So now wait, let me check time here. Be a bit more specific. Time from the low to the high. The low is made of 2 before the 1 to 1, which is perfectly fine. So yeah, of course, a bearish scenario would be to label this ABC. And then in that case, you're going to be looking for a sideways structure, but this has to be a W. So A, B, and then some sort of a C. It's not pretty. As a zigzag down. This one here looks better as zigzag family structure, but that's not allowed in a W. And a flat here, A, B, C, you take the low, hit the 886, low probabilities for, you know, an impulse 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. A, B, it just looks better as a impulse up. But by all means, you're looking for SUI to still take the high. So yeah. The clock, yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah, good one. Seems to 3 waves to be. Yeah, at the moment, of course, an impulse always starts as a 3-wave move, no? Because you would count this now ABC or 1, 2, 3. So what you want to do on SUI, so here's the tip, right? So this is what you got to look out for now, is you got to analyze the ranges. That's where I always say the ranges is where you get all the information you need for trades, right? So you have a move up, a move sideways. In an impulsive structure, you're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Highest volume in your wave 3. Now that means that if you take a fib from the higher low here to the high, and you toggle on the 618, you do not want to touch this. That's your invalidation for wave 4, Gabriel. I mean, honestly, price has to move up a little bit because this invalidation is higher. Right, so at 111, but as price moves up, the 618 is your wave 4 invalidation, because what you're looking for now in an impulse is a 1, 2, right? And then we have a couple of, let me check the volume here. Yeah, so 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either you have a couple of stacked 1, 2s here, right? Or it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then you start your 3. Right, and then you look for 4, 5. So that's what you're looking for. But by all means, what you want to see is you have a few 1, 2s here, you get a 4, 5s, couple of 4, 5s, but eventually you want a range the size of this, right? And that range is not allowed to hit the 618, right? So that's what you have to look out for. So all these, this is way too small to be a wave 4 compared to this being a wave 2. So what you want to wait for is a bigger range to form and take it from there. So, and of course, if you are bearish, which based on the chart is at the moment, like, you know, have a plan, have a strategy. But if you're bearish, you look for an ABC to the upside here. We take some fibs again, and then we are currently, let's see, yeah, we hit the 1-to-1. So the 1-to-1 is a target for a wave C, right? It's always an interesting take profit area as well from a Elliott wave point of view, just in case. But of course, in a bearish scenario, you're looking for an ABC. But that now means that on the lower time frames, you need impulsive structures down, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either a diagonal, and then 1, 2, 3, or a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then boom, right? That's what you're looking for. So yeah, preferably for the bulls, you keep market structure pretty intact. Like you're not gonna move below here. Because you have, like, you know, a few 1, 2s, and that you get your 3s, and then you get a couple of 4, 5s. So this is very normal impulsive behavior as well. And then you get your push, and then you go like this again, right? So preferably you continue market structure up. Now a wave 4 can move below the wave 4 of a lower degree, but you know, you don't really want to see price move down here at the moment in an impulse. You want to see it continue. So your invalidation is lower, but based on more local price action, you can get a better idea of, oh man, this is an ABC, or right, it's an impulse. So yeah, you don't really want to see price like too low down. You don't actually really want to see price go here or go here, right? If you're looking for wave 4 and 5s now, you want to maintain that structure. And once you start a bigger 4, right? So when we have 2 here and eventually you start a bigger 4, it's fine, right? You can get a bigger retracement. But if you're still working on the smaller ones, wait, oh damn, I moved my, it's out of line with my webcam now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, preferably you continue. Oh lol, I do the exact same. There we go. I need to play more shooter games to up my accuracy on the chart. So yeah. 1 hour time frame. This is the most recent range. Highest amount of volume, red volume in this move down is currently in the low. Of course, by just simple looks, it looks very 3-wavy, right? Doesn't look impulsive, meaning a 5-wave structure. Now, if this is a 3-wave structure, what you want to look for is a potential diagonal, but it's too early because this would be a wave 1, 2. You still need 3, 4, 5, which are not printed. So you need to wait for at least a wave 4 to give it more confidence. So at the moment, probabilities are higher. This is corrective, and that everything following after is also corrective. Of course, you have an 886 touch here. If you take it from the low to the high, it's just less relevant because you're likely in a corrective structure here. But yeah, you do have some liquidity. 2 lows here, 2 lows here, this low. What's the volume? Previous range volume, value area low is or high is not touched. Neither is the point of control at 154. So yeah, there's definitely interesting support to the downside to grab the liquidity still. But higher time frame though, it doesn't change. The probabilities at the moment on SUI are higher for the bulls, and yeah. And I explained what you got to look for locally in an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, right? ABC, you need an impulse down. 1, 2, 3, you're looking for wave force, and then eventually a range the size of this. So, okay, very nice. Let's see. SEI. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, it's actually quite similar to SEI or SUI, but it had less of a move to towards the all-time high here. You can see volume is increasing though in the last week. Oh yeah, so the invalidation has been covered. Make sure to vote. I'm actually not sure if that one is in actually. Yeah, man, this is pure skill. Any trader who is not a poser will still use this in their TAs. Yeah, I mean, I hope that the content is useful, right? I mean, it's obviously not a signal service, but hopefully it can be useful in someone's directional bias or in some shape. What is that in English? Way, shape, and form, or whatever. It's useful, yeah. That's the goal. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, exactly. Maybe I should do private live streams. Thanks, Nick. So many desperate peeps out there trying to learn. 3 out of 10 willing to put the work in. This is a safe space. Keeping it real, no bias. Yeah, and also the 3 out of 10 that want to put the work in, that's the audience of this channel, right? I see that on the channel here, we don't generally get a lot of people looking for signals or looking for, oh, is it going up or down, or those type. It's usually the few that actually because Elliott waves is very tricky, it's very complex. So I think that the moment someone opens my video and they check, they see the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds of a video, they're like, yo, fuck, man. Just give me the simple shit. I have no idea what's happening and I don't want to invest time in this. So I'm out. So the content itself is actually like a filter, I suppose, as well. It's Elliott waves is tricky. I try to explain it as easy as I can, but it still requires a basic knowledge of terminology, which then comes with studying. But that's where most people, of course, or many, not most, but many are not really into, they don't want to study too long, just make money now, make sure to vote. I think Atom is in the list. I want to validate a post on Discord. Oh, cheers, Naman. I'll make sure to have probably tonight. I'll have a look. Education from real streamers is few and far between. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate your support, man. I mean, it means a lot to me. Thank you, man. Try to help people as much as I can with Elliott waves, and of course having the playlist on the channel. So, but what for me? So, and by the way, Jiswo, I appreciate it. Thanks for your comment, man. It's nice to see you learn something. And if you have questions, let me know. But for me, with Elliott waves, guys, when I got in touch with Elliott, so of course now I was one of you, and of course they always say that. It's very cliche, but I do not forget where I came from. If you see this abracadabra on the chart and you're like, what the fuck is this guy actually doing? That was me. I had no clue a few years ago, right? No clue what I saw on the chart. I labeled every corrective structure I labeled as an ABC because I didn't know what a WXY was. I had no idea. WXY is the final thing I ever studied and actually learned. So I labeled everything WXYs. My chart was a complete mess, but eventually you get there. Just takes a long time. But even if people don't want to put that time in studying Elliott waves, I hope that this channel gives them the info. So, hey, I'm interested in Elliott waves, but I don't want to study it for 2 years. I go to the channel of Koen because he knows the shit. So, let him work, let him do his magic, analyze the chart, and then hopefully in some way it's useful, right? Yeah. And I think many viewers are in that position of okay, I might not be super interested in learning all of this myself, but this guy is quite good, right? Hopefully at least people think that. And then they're like, yeah, it might be useful. So I'm going to stick around and click on the sub. And for me, Elliott waves provides clarity. It's like reading a book. Right? If I would not I can't not see Elliott waves, but I know when I started, you look at the chart, and there's not really a clear structure. Of course you have the basic patterns, M pattern and W, and I don't know what type of patterns, but it doesn't really explain the structure. And Elliott waves for me gives me it's a way to read the chart as a book. That's the best way I can describe it, right? So instead of having a book with blank pages, right, not knowing what's going on, it actually puts the text in the book, and you're like, okay, now I can actually read it. So it gives you a bit of a map. Anyway, that's a bit. We went a little bit sideways there, but let me check the timestamp for SEI 110 here. 1:10:00. I think Elliott waves is really good in giving directional bias, as I like to call it. And then if you have a clear plan or strat, it can help. So it's picking up the basics for confluence. Yeah, gives a fuller picture. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it helps me, and also the fact I make videos helps me as well, because I gotta do Elliott waves every day, multiple times. Johannesburg, yeah, I've been there. In 2017, I was there for a few days. Even hiked in Johannesburg. That was an accident, but I had no phone reception when I went to the botanical garden in Johannesburg for the day. So I had to hitchhike to the Burger King. Luckily, nothing happened, but in hindsight, I realized it wasn't too smart. And then from Johannesburg, I went to Kruger Park. Anyway, on SEI, yeah, so bullish scenario similar to SUI, 1-2, right? And then your bearish scenario, yeah, one like difficult to really count it bearish. So like I'm gonna cover both, but your bullish scenario, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have our 5, and then we look for the retracement in 2. Now, of course, also in this case, it is interesting to look at the structure to the downside, right? Toggle the volume on as well, and then make sure to not include the high, so you actually have bigger volume bars. All right, so we move that. And then you can see here as well that price is moving to the downside, right? Of course, volume is high at the all-time high, right? That's normal. But then as price is moving down, it slows down, and then you see the peaks, again, like an increase at the low. So also here, if you're very bearish and you want to look for an impulse down, you actually don't really, you want to see this in a wave 3, but then you want to see a 4 or 5. The issue is the same as on SUI, is this 4 retraced too high, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. It's too long, it's too high. So the probability is increased. This is, again, corrective, zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag structures. It's pretty much the same as SUI, of course, compared to this being an impulse. Now, if you have a zigzag family structure down, of course, an alternative immediately becomes a diagonal as a bearish structure. But we hit the 1-to-1 here. So that means your wave 3 would be longer than your wave 1. It's not an invalidation, does lower the probabilities for a diagonal. So yeah, probabilities therefore increase that this is corrective, not impulsive. Target area for 2 is touched. We hit the confluence area that we had on the chart here as well, including the daily. The previous range, preferably this holds. So preferably on SEI, this range with the daily is the end, or at least the low of your corrective structure. It doesn't matter if it's the end or not, but preferably it's the low. And the main resistance is quite simply your support resistance here. So of course, very nicely respected support, fails, and then back resistance. So you got to pass that. If you pass this, your next one is 0.72. Yeah. One, two, three, four, 5. Yes, and locally on the lower time frame, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, so you still also here, you still want a bigger 4. You still want a bigger 4. 0, 2, 4, 1, 4. So you're still looking for a bigger 4. So your invalidation, take a 618 from the low here to the high. And as price moves up, move this up. That's your invalidation for 4, because you're looking for 1 flat in 2, 1 zigzag in 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 minimum, right? So you still want actually a bigger 4. As long as you don't get a 4 similar in quite like the size of a 2, you look for price to just up in a bullish scenario. In a bearish scenario, this of course becomes an A, B, and then a wave C to the upside. So it's the same. It's I mean, what to say? It's literally the same as on SUI. overlap. Only way to make this really bearish is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then this is not the low of your 1 because you have overlap with your 4. Yeah. So then your 1 needs to end somewhere here. This low is part of a corrective structure like a wave B or X. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, if this is the low of a wave B or X in 2, and this is your wave 4, and then this is your 5, there's two main things that lower probabilities. One is price action of 2 overlaps with 4. It's not a rule, but it's by Elliott Wave International. It's regarded as a strong guideline that price action of 2 is not allowed to overlap with 4. But it does here. And 2, your wave 5 ended on the highest amount of volume in this local trend down. But most commonly, it's a wave 3. Right? Most commonly, wave 3 is the highest amount of volume structure. So yeah, it just looks better as a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure. Increasing the probabilities for on high time frame, still bullish compared to bearish. We did already XRP, FET. There we go. A roadmap, then us scalpers come in. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're a swing, day trader, scalper. You know, hopefully the content is useful for anyone. Of course, on Bitcoin, I go down to like 15 minutes. You have balls. Hopefully, I do. But yeah, I went on holiday to South Africa. Without any preparation. The only two things I booked was a safari and the otter trail in the south of South Africa. And that's it. I didn't know anything about the dangers in the country and all of that stuff. I was literally just chilling, hitchhiking on the side of the road, walking around the botanical garden, which is also out of the city, as a tourist, looking like a tourist. I didn't know. But at the same time, sometimes not knowing stuff also just, it reduces your fear. Yeah, it was stupid. But, you know, if you see how much shit is going on at the moment in the country and the dangers, and the dad of my wife, he's a private investigator. Like, he sees the shit in Cape, even in Cape Town, and even in the local areas. Like, every time you go to South Africa now, you're like, nah, you know, like, yeah, I better watch out, and yeah, I'm not gonna take, like, you know, not gonna take this and that because it's too valuable. Yeah, just in case. Like, yeah, we need Koen's Holiday Adventures channel. That would be like a vlog type of channel. But I will never be a guy that vlogs myself. I would then do like a Gary V type of thing where I just get a videographer, and I'll just take that guy with me, and it's a videographer editor, and then he's the one that like does the channel, you know. It could be fun, but of course, like with the channel and stuff, I'm mainly in the house, and whenever I do adventures, of course, those moments can be captured. Like this afternoon, my wife and I very soon go out to Cap d'El, close to Monaco. Like, yeah, you know, it could be fun, but let's focus on Elliott Wave analysis first. Make sure to vote, Versin. Make sure to vote. A 786 for wave 2 is still perfect for a wave 2. 786 is a common target. Just need street smart. Ride my NTB in the gardens every second day. Yeah, I mean, the gardens is great. It's a beautiful area. Just be smart. Yeah, you got to be street smart, right? So, yeah. With regards to the votes, guys, it's in the end, it's a vote. So let me check what we got going on here. Did we invalidate or not? What's so? Okay. So of course, in a bullish scenario, you're either looking for a double 1-2 or a wave 4 here. So either 1-2-1-2, which is most bullish, but preferably we are conservative first till proven otherwise. Wow. A guy I know from India is calling later. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And in this case, your wave 4 is not allowed to overlap with 1. So the moment you do, it invalidates this scenario, and your bullish alternative is going to be 1-2-1-2. That's more bullish. Still a possibility here, but we like to be conservative first. So in this scenario, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Wave 4, 0.5 is a target for a wave 4. 618 is invalidation, but also overlap with 1. So 0.60 is your invalidation. You would be looking for a 5. Bearish scenario. Wait, oh, this is group 2, not the bearish scenario. Yeah, so this is your most bullish scenario. I actually spoke about this already. And the reason I only have 2 bullish scenarios on the chart, I bet, is quite simply because of the move to the downside. So there we go again. It's the same as on SUI, SEI. Very 3-wavy move to the downside. If this is an impulse, you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 retrace too high. 4 is very long. Higher probabilities. This is 3-wavy. And therefore probabilities are higher to then again look for WXYs/XZs to the downside. In other words, corrective price action, not impulsive price action. Now a zigzag to the downside can be part of a bigger diagonal. Your wave 3 though is longer than your wave 1 in a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which does lower the probabilities for a diagonal because preferably it's shorter. Right? It's just what's preferred. But your bearish scenario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quick check here. Your 5 must be shorter. Yeah. So that is your bearish scenario. Right? And then this is labeled A/1. All of this is B/2, and then you look for a move down in a wave C or 3. So, yeah. Now your wave 3, as mentioned, is longer than your wave 1, which does impact the probabilities for such a scenario. But that would be your bearish scenario. Yeah. Let me put this in a folder as well. Moved above the 05, didn't touch the golden pocket. We got quite close. It's always like when I see this, like, okay, we moved above the 05, just missed out on hitting the golden pocket. Actually would be nice to hit the golden pocket. Yeah, locally bullish scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alternatively 1, 2, 1, 2. Bullish continuation. Bearish would be WXY. And then you want to turn around pretty soon. Currently at resistance. So proven in the past. Past this, get inside the upper range. Probabilities increase to look for all-time high, no? So also here on FET, your probabilities are higher for the bulls compared to the bears. The bears have a diagonal option here, but wave 3 is longer than 1. So, yeah. Common target for wave Y in a WXY is actually a little bit higher, 210. So preferably you still move up further, even in a bearish case though. But your minimum target is reached, which is taking out this high. One second here. 5, 3. Ooh, there is the potential of counting 5s down, not 3 down. 1 second. So that would mean ABC W X Y, that's invalidated. It doesn't change your bearish scenario. Yeah, 4 is shorter as well. Yeah, so I mean, we do have a more clear bearish scenario here than on SEI and SUI. Currently wouldn't count this as a diagonal. First of all, you also want overlap with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you still need price to go down first. This range would then be interesting support, of course. But this is your bearish scenario. Value area low is touched. If you do get back in the range, point of control is at 2.65 plus a high volume node at 217. That's your next area of resistance, really, is this 214, 215, yeah. Mm-hmm. Wave 4 just shorter than the 6 fib time. I'm just checking. So yeah, there's definitely something to say about a diagonal on this chart here. That's your bearish scenario. 1, 2, where's the volume? It's the same. Okay, it was higher here than the high. Diagonal locally. I think you were talking here, right? Yeah, a double 1-2 is lower probabilities. Your second one is longer than your first. Your 5 is extended in that case. But your 2 is going to be longer as well in time if you're going to have an ABC here into. So your bullish scenario preferably is an impulse. And then your low is in. So you don't actually want to... And then you want impulsive structures up. So that's what to look out for. Move above the support resistance that we have here would be, of course, a sign of strength. And then be aware of the little point of controls. But yeah. Bullish still proven otherwise. There's the potential for a diagonal here. But also, I'm also thinking about Bitcoin, which the probabilities on Bitcoin are higher for bulls than bears. And if you really want to move down here, that's a 60% drop, yo. I mean, of course, Bitcoin didn't really go anywhere while this went up 120%. So, you know, all those alts move like crazy. But you know, if you want to go down again 60%, Bitcoin would probably need a solid move down as well, no? So, yeah. Yo, Henrik, welcome. Good to have you here, man. Afternoon. Yeah, that is FET. And it is almost 2 p.m., which is my go time. 1 second here. Just WhatsApping my wife here. See if I get an answer quick. Because been online now for 1.5 hours, so I gotta move. So I'm just quickly asking, like, yo, we're gonna go there, right? To Cap Deo. Okay. Ashley, let me know. So I'll wait for her response. Till that time, we can do a few more things. 1, 2. ABC. Cardano, of course, in this case. Oh, I got a lot going on. The daily has been touched. Support on the SR area, so that's all good. We want to move above this here, 0.46. Right, impressive support resistance area. Big resistance at about 119. What's this brush? Okay, 3 wave up. Okay. Bullish scenario. Preferably your wave 2 is in on the 786. So you don't want price to move down there. 886 would not be good. But this is, of course, bullish scenario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look for 2 and then continuation up. Daily. Ashley, my wife is from South Africa, yeah. She's an African. Dad is English. Mom is from South Africa and grew up in South Africa. So it's the same here. The bears need a diagonal. Highest volume in the low, increasing probabilities for a 3-wave. Therefore, one has to think about WXY double zigzag or a triple zigzag. If a pop, and for the bears, you're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 has to be a zigzag family structure. 2. Oof. That's your invalidation, by the way. Missed by a hair. So yeah, I mean, in fact, it got so close. It increases probabilities again that what we have going on here is corrective, not impulsive. Leading to the same conclusion on Cardano as the others, which is probabilities for the bulls compared to the bears. One second. Okay. So go. Yeah. Probability higher for the bulls unless proven until proven otherwise, really. If this is bearish, it has to be a wave C or a double zigzag, but and on the lower time frames, this counts best as a corrective structure. If you want to count this bearish, it has to be a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where your wave 5 is slightly shorter than a little bit shorter than your 3. So yeah, it looks best for bullish noise. So Link Deutsche Bonk. I can't do all of these. I gotta go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probability is higher for the bulls until proven otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So very long sideways price action. The fact that you go sideways for so long increases the probabilities for price to at least get a bounce to the upside. So that is your BBL, I think, asked for like mana, so that's very short. But it's not high voted, so I won't put a lot of time into that stuff. I can't, with respect to other people's opinion and time. What's up, Thunderin? So maybe I can drop link in. Oh yeah, link. Holy moly, this is I always keep it on my chart because this is very, very old school Kun. Like this is back in the day when I analyzed the chart. Very, very old, before I had a YouTube channel. But yeah, so here also probability is highest for the bulls, looking for 1, 2, 3. Hit the support resistance area. Below us still a point of control at 719 in case we come down once more. Support resistance area here is important. Past this, you get back above, like in the upper range, which would be at least positive. And the reason the probabilities are higher to count this as a 1 and then a 2 has to do with if this is bearish in an A, B, C, then your wave C is very extended. Wave B only moved to the 105 Fibonacci, taken from the low to the highest point in this range, which is a regular flat target for B. Regular flat target for C is here. Target for wave C in an expanding flat is here, but we move beyond to the 2.618 up here, less common. And on the daily time frame, this is the same as like, you know, the other stuff is for the bears, you only have a diagonal as an option here. Oh, not here, because your wave 5 is longer than 3 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on link probabilities, you know, I like higher for W, X, Y, potentially XZ, of course, but at least higher for a zigzag family structure compared to an impulsive structure to the downside, increasing probabilities for the bulls, which is this scenario here. You don't want to hit that 886, but you do have still some room below the local low, just in case. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get ready, else it's gonna be a problem. So we covered Bitcoin at the start, and then Solana, AVAX, XRP, SUI, SEI, FET, ADA, very short mana, of course, and then Link. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And tomorrow morning will be the next Bitcoin update, unless anything special happens, but I'm going to be out for the rest of the day, so not sure what's going to happen tonight. Usually in the weekend, content is random, and generally it's just an altcoin stream, but if anything happens on the chart, I might do something tonight, but the expectation would be tomorrow morning. And it's weekend, so enjoy your time, of course. You know, do something nice in the weekend, like I'm gonna do now. So, thanks everyone for being here. Nick, cheers, Otter Gang, for being here as well. Appreciate the kind words. And enjoy, everyone. Have a good weekend. Speak to you very soon again.